Hi, I'm Dan Mirvish, filmmaker, author, and co-founder of the Slamdance Film Festival.
God bless Slamdance.
My last movie was the award-winning film Between Us with Julia Stiles and Taye Diggs. My next film is Bernard and Huey, written by Jules Feiffer, who's earned a Pulitzer, Oscar, and Obie. Better than Negot, that's called a poo. Playwright, novelist, illustrator, and most recently, graphic novelist, Jules wrote the scripts for such classic films as Carnal Knowledge, directed by Mike Nichols, Little Murders, directed by Alan Arkin, and even Popeye for Robert Altman. Feiffer is perhaps best known for his comic strip he had in the Village Voice for 43 years.
I had Bernard from the beginning, sometime during the first year of the strip in the Village Voice, so it must have been introduced in early 1957 as a kind of a nebbishy village hanger-on young man who is desperate to get laid and attaches himself to guys who don't have any trouble getting laid so he can get their rejects. And Huey, I used to go to these parties and I'd see these Vassar, Sarah Lawrence girls, and rather than go for the intelligent guys, they went for the thugs. And the thugs at that time, we're talking about the late 50s, were all Brando imitators. Guys who couldn't walk straight, they'd slouch, they'd mumble, everybody was wearing a leather jacket, and I just loved it. I mean, I didn't love the part that I couldn't crack those girls, but I loved the material of it. And so the balance of Bernard and Huey just seemed like a natural after a while, and then when I got to be middle-aged, and I thought, there's these two characters now in their 40s. I introduced it to Hefner in Playboy, and he loved it, and then we started doing a Bernard and Huey series of these two guys now over the hill, where neither one of them can make out all that well, and they have to hit on younger chicks. Then this producer, Michael Brandman, out in Hollywood, came to me with the idea of doing it as a film, and got it to Showtime, and Showtime was very enthusiastic, and then Showtime changed hands, and you know what happens when you change hands. Everything that you had before is no good anymore. Finally, it was not going anywhere, and that was it.
A quarter of a century later, I happened upon an article about Feiffer that mentioned he had several unproduced screenplays. I thought, they're probably good. So along with my producing partner, Dana Altman,
I was on the set of Popeye when I first met Jules.
we tracked down Jules, who lives in the Hamptons.
By that time, I was in the act of divorce, and things were boxed up in storage, and I wasn't even sure where is where. And besides which, I had an archivist who put everything in an order that only the archivist understood. So I've never been able to find anything since. Now I've given up. I don't even try anymore.
Finally, my pal Kevin DeNovis remembered reading a Feiffer script in an old copy of Scenario magazine, but Kevin was now divorced and all his copies were in storage. The one library in America that had copies was at the Academy in LA, but they have a strict policy: no pens, no cell phones, no cameras, no copies. When you leave, they even probe you with an Oscar.
Well, but fortunately, you saw a copy of Scenario.
It was brilliantly written, funny, timeless, and doable on a small budget. Perfect for me. The story itself is about how Huey shows up on Bernard's doorstep after they haven't seen each other in 25 years. Beyond the two main guys, the screenplay adds characters of their ex-wives, girlfriends, and most importantly, Huey's daughter.
And she's also of an age of the women he wants to screw. So it gets very complicated.
It's been 3 years since we started, and I'm back in New York with producer Mike Ryan, who worked with me on Between Us. We've met all the big agencies who love the script and want to cast it with their big Hollywood actors. I bought bagels and lox, we hopped a Mike 79 Thunderbird, and we hit the road to the Hamptons.
I don't think anything has changed. What's changed is some of the language, but the attitudes are still there.
We've already started raising money for the film, but we need your help to buy the peanuts that our A-list actors are going to be working for. Backing a film is now like giving to your local opera, symphony, or even public radio station.
Money, cash, money.
It's fully tax deductible, and for the right price, we'll even throw in a tote bag. If you want to see our full project plan with synopsis, bios, and more, just click here. And if you really want to invest in the film in a big way, underwrite it, or do product placement for your company, we're more than happy to get you involved. You'll follow the exciting ups and downs of casting, get a chance to visit the set, and come see the film at glamorous festivals around the world. Your kids and parents will give you newfound respect, your accountant will be amazed, and your friends will be jealous. Remember, this is called Kickstarter, not Kick Finisher. Even just $1 today will get you in on the ground floor of this historic film that will be a lasting legacy to a true American legend.
That's Bernard and Huey.
Bernard and Huey is a timeless classic whose time has come.